The Gardens of Iran, a tale of glory, power, and oblivion. In the vast expanse of Iran, somewhere between the scorching deserts and silent mountains, there are buildings that still shine like dusty jewels in the heart of time, the gardens of the castle. These structures were not just residences, but also a manifestation of civilization, social class, and human interaction with nature. Places where power was tied to beauty. Castles with endless walls and hidden gardens. When you look at the castle from afar, all you see are high brick walls, watchtowers, and a heavy, iron gate. But if you pass through the gate, you enter a completely different world, a lush garden, full of pomegranate trees, figs, plane trees, and the sound of a flowing stream. This strange, magical contrast, armor and flowers, violence and tenderness, dominion and peace, all in one space. The Lord commands in the tower, and the child plays in the garden under the shade of pomegranates. Lords, owners of the land and the law. In past centuries, especially during the Qajar and Safavid eras, lords were not only the owners of the land, but also the legislators and guardians of security. Their names were spoken with respect or fear. They had a vast organization of stewards, foremen, cooks, guards, and servants. Their decisions could change the fate of a village. On festive days, the castle would become the site of lavish and traditional celebrations, musical instruments, local dances, the sound of drums and the aroma of traditional foods would fill the garden. Life inside the castle, a full-fledged show. Castles usually had different sections. The royal residence with sash windows, stucco, and frescoes. Summer and winter rooms for living in different seasons. The cistern and the inner garden. Stables for the lord's horses. Cellars for storing grain and water. Each section was part of a large and orderly life. Life in these castles was like a living historical film. The gradual decline of glory. With the end of the feudal era and the arrival of modernity, many of these garden castles were abandoned. The walls that were once a symbol of power now crumble in silence with deep cracks. The trees that once bore fruit have dried up. The water from the aqueducts, which were the lifeblood of the garden, is now dry or polluted. And the lords? They have become just names in the heart of history's diary. Conclusion. The castle gardens are a comprehensive mirror of the local history of Iran. They are not only a symbol of power and wealth, but also an expression of the art of architecture, the relationship between man and nature, and the Iranian social system in the past. Today, these historical monuments need to be seen, preserved, and narrated.